me, so yeah. I'm not going to give him credit for being a person.
What are you running for?
Tim Lovers.
Yes.
Because the things that we're dealing with
Yep. Let's see.
in this country right now don't just deal with you and the I was just in C.
There's no one in there.
No, I was in D.
Very good. We'd like, Joseph is here, if you wouldn't mind giving us either your email and or your cell phone. It's a nice efficient way to be able to contact people and let them know what's happening. We promise we will use it, but we won't use it. So if you wouldn't mind sharing that, we would appreciate it. And I'd like to introduce you to Steve Sands from running in the 4th Congressional District.
Thank you. I appreciate you being here tonight. This is a great forum to let you get to know me a little bit better. And this is a great part of the process. You know, I want to get to know the people that I would be representing. I want to also have you get to know me. And so I'll just start off with a little bit about myself and my story. I was born and raised here in the state of Utah, and in Orem is where I was born. And I was brought up in a very politically active family. My parents were involved in campaigns. When I was a young boy, we'd sit around the dinner table and talk politics. And what we'd do is my mom had a thing called the Thought of the Day. And she would talk about a newspaper headline or something in a magazine. Or if we didn't have something like that to talk about, we would talk about some principle of government or one of the Founding Fathers' quotes, and we'd discuss it. Not for a long time, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then that would be it. And I was instilled, though, this value of this country and being involved in what this country is all about. And so as I proceeded through my life, I became an Eagle Scout at 14. I went on to debate in high school as a 2-time high school debate champion. And when it came time to go to college, my father's an architect, and I was kind of groomed to be a 4th-generation architect. My great-grandfather was an architect. But before you go to architecture school, you got to get another degree. And so I went to Brigham Young University and graduated from BYU in political science because I just had this passion for politics in our country. Went on to study architecture, and when I got out, I then joined the United States Marine Corps. Spent some time in the United States Marine Corps. And after I got done with the Marine Corps, you would think I'd go into an architecture career, but I decided no. I was a pilot. I didn't back up. I got my private pilot's license on my 17th birthday, and so I've been a pilot for years at this point, and went on to become an airline pilot. And so, and worked as an airline pilot for a few years. I went from SkyWest to US Air, and was just happy in life being a pilot. And then tragedy struck. My dad had a major stroke and could not operate his business. And so I had to make the tough choice of either staying with the airline career or coming back and taking over his business that I had been working on days off. So I made that choice, took over the firm, and grew up from a firm of 4 people to a firm that employs over 25 people and one of the more successful firms here in the Intermountain West. But that opened the door for politics, which I got heavily involved in. I was 3 terms on the Orem City Council, where I learned about grassroots politics, closest to the people, and issues there. When the opportunity arose, I became a member of the Utah Legislature, State House, and I'm currently serving today. I came from the Hill this evening at about 6 o'clock, and I appreciate serving. And I do want to be in Congress because I have a passion for this country. I'm concerned about our children and our grandchildren. I've lived the American dream. I've had opportunities that you can only have in this country. And I'm just very concerned that we're not going to have the same opportunities in the future if we don't change the course of our country. So with that, I know there's not a lot of time, but if you have a question or two, I'm more than happy to answer it.
Candidates, 1 minute please, 1 minute for the exhortation.
Okay, quick question.
Quick.
What do you see as your biggest strength in against Matheson? Because we don't care for the fact that he is now running in our district.
Yes, I don't like that either. Well, I think I'm the best equipped to go against Matheson for my business background, my professional career, my professional degrees I have, and the fact that I can get things done. I'm known for getting things done in the legislature, and I think I have the ability to take him on head-to-head in debates and really show that Matheson has been a failure as a congressman. He hasn't passed a single bill the entire time he's been in office. He's not done anything to stand up for the state of Utah as far as our sovereign lands issues. And he really is truly representing the values of this country and this state. And so I believe that I have a track record in the state legislature of getting things done. And I get things done because I work with people and I build coalitions and I do not back down. And so I think a campaign against Matheson is going to be tough. The Democrats are going to throw everything at this race they can. This is the #1 race for the NRCC to unseat a sitting Democrat. It's going to be tough. And so, like I said, I believe I am best equipped to defeat Matheson, to debate him and match him head for head with accomplishments.
Okay, I just want to ask you a quick question, because I've been in Matheson's district, and thankfully he's not in mine anymore.
Yeah,
but,
you're lucky.
So, how are you going to raise money? Because that's the issue with Matheson. He has so much money.
He does have a lot of money. I believe that there will be money in the race because of the highest profile of
Candidates,
the
please
race.
rotate.
I have a lot of friends.
Thank you.
I've only been in this race since November 14th, so I haven't done a whole lot of fundraising yet. And I can't fundraise right now because I'm in the legislature. Once I get out, I can. And I have been fortunate to be successful in life, and so I do have some of my own finances I can put into the race. I can self-finance to a certain extent in the race. And I've already done that and intend to do so.
Thank you.
I'm not going to listen to all the congressmen, sorry. I'm not voting for anybody except Jason Chapin, and he's unopposed, so. Okay, I gotta find.
Where's that on the map? I is the library.
Tim Alders is running for
Oh,
Senate.
good. I need to hear him, so I'll follow him.
Okay, hi, nice to meet you,
Hi,
Robin.
nice to meet
Follow
you.
me.
Okay.
This is simple. I mean,
My name is Neela. I
I had a very politically active family where my parents taught politics around the dinner table at night regularly from the time I was very young, throughout the entire time I was in the house. And they instilled in me a sense of civic duty. And as I proceeded through life, I became an Eagle Scout at 14. I had a passion for flying, so I became a licensed pilot at the age of 17, the very day you could, on my birthday. I also had a passion for politics, and I was kind of groomed to be a fourth-generation architect. I'm an architect right now. My father had been one of my grandfather and grandfather. But before I went to architecture school, I had to get a degree, an undergraduate degree. So I went to Brigham Young University and graduated from BYU with a degree in political science, and then went on to study architecture. And after I got my schooling was done, I joined the United States Marine Corps, served some time there as a U.S. Marine, and then went on to start my career in life. And instead of going into architecture, I decided I like flying airplanes, I'm a pilot, I'm going to stay flying airplanes. So I was an airline pilot for a few years, started with SkyWest, went on to fly for US Air. And then a few years into my career, tragedy struck. My dad had a major stroke and couldn't operate the business anymore. So I had to decide to either walk away from the airline career or come and take over my dad's business that was on the verge of failure. I made that difficult decision, walked away from a very good flying career, and became an architect full time. At the time, we only had 4 people in the firm. It was on the verge of bankruptcy, heavily in debt, no projects. I took it over and grew it from an office with 4 people to an office now has nearly 30 employees and one of the most successful firms here in the Intermountain West. But as tough as that was, it opened the door for me to get involved in politics. And I ran for the Orem City Council, where I served 3 terms as a councilman, and then when the opportunity arose, I became a member of the Utah House of Representatives, where I am currently serving right now. And I'm running for Congress because I love America, I believe in America, I've lived the American dream. I've had opportunities that you can only have in this great country, and I'm concerned for my children, my grandchildren, that they will not have those same opportunities. I can get things done, one person does get things done in the legislature, and that's why I'm equipped to serve in Congress. So with that, I thought I could answer any questions you have. In the short time we have, it's very quick, but if any questions, just shoot and I'll answer them straight up.
What's the most effective legislation you passed?
You started off with
State legislation.
Well, you know, I think I passed some very significant bills as a state rep. Of course, everybody knows I passed an immigration bill that is currently in federal court right now, so we don't know if that's how effective that's going to be if enough sort of prevail. But that's a bill I worked with all sides and came up with a consensus bill that really was very prudent and measured. It wasn't punitive, and I worked with a whole broad coalition to get that bill completed. I've passed very significant legislation, such as a bill that would limit the ability to have any casinos in the state of Utah. We were on the verge of having those allowed in the state of Utah. I was able to pass a bill that closed the door for that. I've been able to pass legislation that's preserved wildlife habitat in the state of Utah in a way that's never been done before. And also, I've been involved in a lot of states' rights issues and bills that has tried to push back against the federal government and get our lands back. But as far as bills that really matter, I usually listen to my constituents, and I pass legislation that they have asked me to pass. I passed a bill classifying honey as the raw honey. And so, but I've been very effective. I usually pass at least 7 or 8 pieces of very significant legislation each year. And I might point out Matheson's never passed a single piece of legislation the entire time he's been in office. Any other questions? Or?
You're not in any campaign.
He's going to have some burning.
No, I'm just here to film the 4th congressional
Dave,
candidate.
why don't you tell about, because I think it's
Are
very
you from
important
Jim Matheson's
how
office?
No. You can work
Then who is
with
the
other
footage
legislators
for?
up there on your
I
bill
work
that
for the
could have
Democratic
passed,
Party.
but was made better by some
Well,
recommendations
one
from the other side.
problem in Congress right now is that we see that we have two sides polarized that will not work together. Now, that doesn't mean that you give up your principles in any way, because I won't. I have certain principles I stick with, and I think I've proven those in the legislature. But one quick example, I had a bill that if you know, when you go to the hospital, you have to show your ID to be admitted to the hospital now, where your doctor's office, you have to show ID. That was my bill. That was to combat identity theft. It was running rampant in the medical world in the state of Utah. So if you don't like having to show your ID to see the doctor, that's my bill. So